Hello, everyone. Coming up on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. As you see right here, it's Tag Team Title Tuesday. As I'm talking about Tag Team Title Tuesday, as you see, Pretty Deadly defend their tag team titles against Mark Kelp, Malik Black, and Indus Knife. Also, to Nikita Lyons and Zoe Starks challenge Kane Carter and contend a chance for the women's tag team titles. Plus two, Sashi returns to NXT to take on Last Legend as they had their little confrontation this past week at Halloween Havoc. We get to that. Also to the main event right here. Ilya Dragunov takes on JD McDonough. These two men were in brawl into the championship match this past Sunday. Neither man didn't win the championship as Braun Breaker emerged victorious winning retained the NXT championship. Well, we know that Dragunov and Madonna have some unfinished business that they want to settle in the ring coming up. So, and then we'll get to all the highlights and stuff. We'll get to the debut of the People's Champion, The Rock. His daughter has now made her NXT debut. We'll get to that. All this and more when the Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Presents the NXT Ring Report. We're coming off NXT after, but first things first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is king. Tell a friend, call a friend, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We got a lot to get to. We're going to be talking about a lot coming up. As you see right here, Tag Team Title Tuesdays, the men's division and the women's division tag team titles on NXT are on the line, as well as Shotzi Blackheart versus Last Legend. Shotzi, an NXT alum, now wrestles on SmackDown, made the stop to come back home to get herself some of Last Legend, who interrupted her at Halloween Havoc for her being the host. And two, we're going to talk about who Schism chose to be their next member. We got a lot to get to. But we kick things off with the Women's Tag Team Championship right here. Zoe Starks and Nakia Lyons set the challenge. The champions, Katita Chance and Kaden Carter for the tag team titles. This match was a little bit dull to me. I didn't get no interest in the match. It was just like they really waste their time on the women's tag team titles for the NXT. But at one moment we thought that Nikita Lyons and Zoe Starks won the tag team titles, but it was reversed for them not having doing a not making the tag. But it restarted the match, and Katie Carter and Katita Chance are still your women's tag team champions of NXT. I don't know how that came possible, but look for this being a rematch down the road between these two, between these four ladies for the tag team championship down the road. Also, to new North American champion Wesley in his all his glory, smile and cheesing, winning the North American championship this past weekend at Halloween Havoc. He had to go through four other men. He went through Nathan Frazier. He went through I hate saying Ozzy Messiah. He went through Von Wagner, who was looking for some gold, and they couldn't get no gold with Mr. Stone in his corner. He looked at and he went after former champion Carmelo Hayes, who was likely the heads-on favorite to win it. But Wesley did the impossible and won the NXT North American Championship. Wesley, in his first reign as champion, Congratulations to Wesley. Wesley has did the impossible. So Wesley came out there to celebrate. He's celebrating with R-Truth, who came out of nowhere, made a surprise appearance. Truth made an appearance that he thought was Halloween Havoc was tonight, and it wasn't. How Truth always gets his dates wrong, and he messed up. He was 2 days late, $1 short. R-Truth coming out as a comedy fashion, came out there to entertain the crowd. The crowd was more pumped up. R-Truth was in the house. But Grayson Waller tried to interrupt and saying that he wants a shot at the championship at Wesley's title. And Grayson Waller felt like he felt disrespected by R-Truth. So we know next week that R-Truth will take on Grayson Waller 1-on-1 in a match. We get to see that match between these two. So we know next week Grayson Waller versus R-Truth. What a match that's going to be next week between them two. We'll see that match coming up as well. But it was real funny. Also, too, like we said, Lash Legend taking on Chauncey. Lash Legend want to get her hands on Chauncey. Get a receipt. Chauncey came out there. Chauncey came out there with his her best friend Quincy. Quincy came out there and be in the corner of Lash Legend. They claim they queens and stuff, but Shotzi won her match over Lash Legend. Shotzi getting the rebuttal that she needed to shut up Lash Legend for all. So we see that. Also, too, what else happened? Also, too, this happened. Shinja and I forgot his name. Veer Mahan attacked the Creed brothers. The Creed brothers getting attacked after what had happened this past week. The Creed brothers went through hell and fire this past week as got this Julius went through hell and back when he went against Damian Kemp in that ambulance match. Julius pulling off the work and did it for his brother. I believe Julius is going to be the big star between the group, but we'll see. Julius has the look and has the 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 tools, the ability. He just had to work on his charisma, but he'll get there. He'll be like Kurt Angle in a way sooner rather than later. But Julius won the match, but just came out of nowhere. The Creed brothers being attacked by the Sinja and Veer Mahan. So I don't know what's gonna go down with that, but we'll see. The tag team division is heating up, and it's heating up all right. Speaking of tag team division, we speak on tag team title Tuesday. Pretty Deadly defended their tag team titles against Malik and Idris, but Malik and Idris lost to Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly retained their tag team titles. At the end, Pretty Deadly didn't win it. Pretty Deadly won it, but it made Idris Julius, I forgot their name, but it made them like losers for the night. But only thing is, what's his name? West Odyssey Jones returned, and I guess he brought some booze for women. And Odyssey Jones told him cheer up and come hang with us and party with us with some women. So I think they took him on the offer to get their heads, mind off that. So how that be? But like I said, it's been tag teamed title Tuesday. As you see, the women's tag team champions Katia Chance and Kaden Carr retain their titles, as well as Pretty Deadly retain their titles as well. So the men's and women's tag team title stays intact as always. Also, to another return, we know that Letra Lopez returned. Now she should be on the main roster, to be honest with you. But Letra Lopez, now on the main roster. Um, El Fatima left her and went to SmackDown, and they went with Zelina Vega. I think she might be she's green right now, but she'll get better eventually down the road. So look for her eventually get better and try to challenge Zelina and get her spot back. I'm telling you. Also, too, Sism want to reveal their new member, and we didn't even know this was possible, but they did it in the middle of the ring, and it was none other than The Rock's daughter, Eva Grace. Eva Grace made her NXT debut. It's been a big week for the Rock family. The Rock with the number one movie in America, the movie Black Adam, and now his daughter has debuted on NXT. Would have been a week. What's a week it has been, and we know that the Rock's show on NBC, Young Rock, is slated to come back. So now we know Eva Grace is now the newest member of Schism, and she made her debut and she made her presence known that she's in the group. You know what she's gonna do and bring to the group. We're gonna see how effective. It's like Judgment Day had Rhea Ripley, and then Schism got the Rock's daughter. And said we kind of figured why Joe Gacy was trying to recruit folks and get in his cult. Now we know. Now we know indeed. Speaking of that, Mandy Rose was talking with her Toxic Attraction co-hosts that they're going to celebrate her winning the championship a year ago next week. So Mandy Rose coming back. Mandy Rose was involved into a hellacious match against Alba Fire. She barely managed to retain her championship, but she did at Halloween Havoc. And she won that at Halloween Havoc a year ago. Mandy Rose keeps her championship intact. So Mandy Rose, God's greatest gift creation, stays in the NXT Women's Champ. Also, too, we've been hearing these cryptic calls right here. We don't know what this is. They was talking about somebody making cryptic phone calls, subliminal. Someone got unknown, sincerely script. I don't know what is going on. It's like they create groups in all these factions. Watch as I come. This is what the person said. Watch as I come and leave my mark as I plan to rip all of NXT apart. We don't know what he's talking about. And who could it be? But if I had my money, it could be Dominic Dijak who burnt his NXT, burnt the Master T bar, and he's returning sooner than later. So don't be shocked. It might be him doing all this cryptic stuff in the end and stuff. All right. And finally, the main event. The main event. Ilya Dragunov takes on JD Madonna. I guess Ilya Dragunov is JD Madonna's Lex Luthor because he doesn't like it one bit. We know that both men were competed for the NXT Championship in that triple threat match against Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker retained his championship, and Braun Breaker keeps his championship going. We know that next week Braun will return back on NXT. Braun is going to guess return, and we'll see what's next for Braun Breaker. Also, too, we said R-Truth taking on Grayson Waller next week, 1-on-1. After Truth and Grayson Waller had that funny exchange and stuff between them. Now we know these two men will go 1-on-1 next week. So look forward to seeing that match next week. Also, too, Mandy Rose saying that she's celebrating 1 year as NXT Women's Champion, winning the championship a year ago. So we'll see that match as well and stuff. But like I said, we're gonna get to JD Madonna versus Ilya Dragunov. This match was just that. It just was a physical rough match. But JD Madonna tried to use that chokehold and choked out Ilya Dragunov, who passed out due referee stoppage. Now Dragunov's out on the shelf. JD Madonna, we don't know what's going to go down. Is he going to still try to challenge for the NXT Championship? Only time will tell on that. So, all right. So that ends the NXT Ring Report. We want to move quickly to wrestling hot topics. As we can tell you right now, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon celebrate 19 years of marriage. We want to wish Stephanie and Triple H marital bliss. Celebrating 19 years. Congratulations, man. What an accomplishment. Still. Also, too, what else happened? We told you The Rock. Got the biggest movie in the world. Black Adam, #1. Congratulations to the People's Champ, The Rock, as well as his debut of his daughter and what she's gonna do down the road and see how she's gonna fare. So, hey, what else? And this right here, we know Braun Strowman will be challenging almost at Crown Jewel, but this match, this was a non-WWE channel right here, and he got 1.4 million in 2 days. Man, you talk about something like that, man. All right, so we're gonna end it with JD Madonna leaving some damage, and he left damage to Dragunov. We hope to see you tomorrow for another edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the AEW Dynamite Ring Report. But this has been the NXT Ring Report. For me being Kendrick D saying so long, we'll see you tomorrow for another edition of Pro Wrestling Show. See you later.